LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
Hello and welcome to LA Rider, Louisiana's #1 source for motorcycle travel, lifestyles, and adventure. I'm T.W. Robinson and we're so glad you're joining us today. This week we head north on the Blues Highway for a return visit to Clarksdale, Mississippi Shack Up Inn, where we spend a week in Harmonica Camp learning all about the blues. Then Tammi and I check out the craft beer and pizza at Monroe, Louisiana's Flying Tiger Brewery, and we meet its Harley riding owner. All this and much more in this edition of LA Rider. So kickstands up, everyone. It's time to take a ride. Welcome to LA Rider, America's longest running weekly motorcycle travel and adventure show. I'm T.W. Robinson. So glad you're joining us today. We've all had one at one time or another, and while most of us got them as toys or novelties, the harmonica is a serious instrument. And I found out just how serious during a recent ride up the Blues Highway. US 61, which generally follows the course of the Mississippi River, stretches from New Orleans to Minnesota and is often referred to as the Great River Road. But the southern portion of the highway, which cuts through the heart of the Mississippi Delta, has another name. It's called the Blues Highway because of its long history and connection to American blues music, or more specifically, the Delta Blues. There are dozens of cities and towns along this highway that help give birth to the blues, but perhaps there's none more significant than Clarksdale, Mississippi, where some say the Delta Blues was born and where it continues to thrive. Clarksdale is where legendary blues musician Robert Johnson allegedly met the devil at a crossroad and traded his soul for musical talent. The encounter is commemorated at the intersection of US 61 and US 49 on the south side of town. Today, the blues is very much alive in this northwest Mississippi town. Clarksdale is home to the Delta Blues Museum, as well as dozens of juke joints and blues clubs, including actor Morgan Freeman's Ground Zero, all working together to promote and preserve the blues.
It was birthed out of beer, Budweiser mainly. Just one of those things where we were going to save a shack.
Bill Talbot says the blues really wasn't on his mind in 1998 when he started assembling a collection of old shacks in the middle of a cotton farm just outside of Clarksdale.
I think the farmers got together and it was like a conspiracy. You know, all of a sudden they realized that they were paying taxes on abandoned houses on their farms. So they started getting burned down, pushed down, but we were lucky enough to get the little Cadillac shack initially. And we set it down really to have a place to hang out, drink beer, listen to music, play music. And just about as soon as we set it down in here, here come the people from the UK wanting to let it. And when they started coming, it was like, well, hell, let's get some more shacks.
An old cotton gin serves as a central hub for the Shack Up Inn. It houses a large performance area and bar, the hotel lobby, and several guest rooms. Bill says that what started as a place for him and his friends to hang out and drink beer grew like wildfire into something much bigger. Today, the Shack Up Inn is much more than just a place to spend the night. It has become a cultural and educational hub where people from all over the world come to learn about the men, women, and the history of the Delta, especially the blues.
We're in the middle of a 5-day guitar camp. So it's interesting. Last week we had a singer-songwriter camp for 5 days, and then next week we've got a 5-day harmonica camp.
So do you have a musical background?
No, I'm just an appreciator, but I consider myself very good at it.
When it comes to music, I'm pretty much like Bill. I can't play an instrument or sing unless it's when no one is listening. But something about that harmonica camp intrigued me. I just had to check it out. 'Welcome back to Clarksdale, Mississippi and the Shack Up Inn. I'm T.W. Robinson and I'm here for the Blues Harmonica Camp. Two dozen or so men and women from all over the U.S., Canada, and as far away as England gathered in the Shack Up Inn's Blues Chapel last May. There were doctors, lawyers, farmers, scientists, social workers, and one motorcycle riding TV personality, all with one thing in common: a love for the harmonica and a passion for the blues.
Well, a lot of the people that are here, they may have wanted to play they may have played when they were younger, and then life got in the way. They had to, get a real job and support the family and give it up. And so now that they're, retired, most of them, and they've got the time and the money to take the time, they're taking up an instrument. They're going either taking it up again or for the first time, just because they want to do something, creative.
The harmonica has been around in one form or another for nearly 2 centuries. A fairly simple and relatively inexpensive instrument, harmonicas are often given to children as toys. But the harmonica is a serious musical instrument and has found its way into all forms of music. Because of its haunting, often mournful sound, the harmonica just naturally became an important part of the Delta blues. And it was the blues that drew harmonica players like Hugh Mitchell to Clarksdale.
I've always been fascinated with the instrument and drawn to the blues, where, the harmonica is a big part of the blues. Played around with it a little bit, when I was a kid. I'm a veterinarian, went to vet school, and we actually, for the 100th anniversary of the college, we had a musical, and I was tagged to play in the musical, my harmonica. Anyway, again, family came in, family and career. I put it down for years. This simple instrument, the complexity is so underrated. And so I picked it up again, got some lessons, and found this camp too.
For 5 days, Hugh and his fellow students were immersed in the harmonica experience.
from one-on-one lessons to group lectures, demonstrations, and jam sessions, all led by a group of experienced musicians and players like Cheryl Arena, Brian Hash Brown Coway, and Johnny Mastro.
It seems like everybody here has an interesting story. And there's a lot of doctors, attorneys, ex-judges, you know, it's pretty cool.
Every one of them has said that they learn something new every time. It doesn't matter how long they've been coming.
Yeah, and that dedication is inspiring, you know, and it ends up, I hope it doesn't sound corny, but I end up learning as much from them because they'll do something on the harmonica or they have a different way of thinking and they might not even know that it's special. And I'll be like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Returning harmonica experience camper Paula Branyan of Manchester, England, says COVID was the catalyst that renewed her interest in the harmonica.
I'm a managing director of a not-for-profit organisation that supports adults with learning disabilities and mental health problems, and we help people live their best lives and stay independent in the community. During COVID, we had to carry on working because the people we support need support 24/7, 7 days a week. So COVID coming, we couldn't stop working, we had to carry on through it, and it was a really difficult, and stressful time. And I thought, right, how am I going to cope, with the stress? And then I saw somebody on a Zoom presentation playing a harmonica, and it reminded me that when I was little I used to love the harmonica, and I thought, why don't I take up the harmonica as a way of, coping with the stress?
John Brewer of Florida is one of several harmonica campers with a connection to motorcycles. In fact, that is how he got his nickname, Barefoot John. But it was his profession that got him connected to the harmonica experience.
My buddy Bullfrog is an old friend of mine. He's an old judge and I'm an old lawyer, and we met for 10 years in our relationship. His first name was Your Honor, and we discovered that we liked motorcycles, and then he caught me playing the harmonica, and he caught fire on harmonica. And the next thing you know, he's going to this harmonica camp up in Mississippi, and he's after me to do it, and finally I just said, oh, all right. For as little as it is, it's a big instrument. Harmonica is as big as the person who is playing it, because it goes from the reeds clear down to the tip of your toes, clear out through the top of your head. It's a marvelous thing. And if you don't have it with you, the blues could jump up in front of you and go.
We do get people saying it's life-changing, and that just, I just love that. It's so wonderful to be able to give someone that, to share, that with people. Joy, bringing joy. Make a joyful noise, right?
Despite my best efforts, the noise I made wasn't quite joyful. Cheryl did a great job teaching me some of the basics, however. And I did enjoy the singing classes each day, especially the ones that involved dancing. But at the end of the day, I was not quite ready for prime time.
I'm not quite there yet, but it's been a great experience and a lot to absorb. And so I'm feeling that it's going to take a few more lessons before I actually get up and perform.
The harmonica experience was a great one. I got to hear a lot of great music, witness some wonderful musicianship, and meet a lot of very interesting and incredibly friendly people. Well, there was this one guy, but we'll save that for another story.
craft beer, gourmet pizza, and the blues, a winning combination at Monroe's Flying Tiger Brewery. Tammi and I paid a visit there a few weeks ago and sat down with the owner, who just happens to ride a Harley.
James Earl Simpson often rides his Harley to work. His passion for motorcycles is only surpassed by his passion for craft beer. And it's here at Flying Tiger Brewery in downtown Monroe, Louisiana, that Simpson's home brewing hobby started to take flight.
This was the first fully manufacturing craft brewery in Northeast Louisiana. We brew, we keg, we can, everything on site right here.
Simpson didn't always have a dream of being a brewmaster. It was only after a trip with his wife to an Airbnb in Jefferson, Texas, where one of the B's stood for beer instead of breakfast, that dream was born.
I tasted this beer and it was really, really tasty beer. So I got in a conversation. I asked, I said, hey man, what is this? Like, what kind of beer is this? Really good. He said, well, I brewed it. Home brewing beer. Like, I was kind of a beer geek. Home brewing beer had never been on my radar at that time. And man, I just peppered him with questions. And my wife was paying attention behind me. And for Christmas that year, she got me a bunch of homebrew equipment.
All right, where the magic happens, huh?
This is where it happens. Y'all come on back.
I can't even imagine going from a home brewer to this.
It was a jump, you know. I had no former brewing experience outside of home brewing, so this manufacturing level was completely foreign to me. But we actually, when we opened, we had one of the founding guys from Abita.
Really?
Brooks Hamaker.
Helped you get started.
He traveled the world opening craft breweries, and he heard about this via his two sons. He shot us an email. We hired him. He came home and helped us get open.
If you're wondering why the name Flying Tiger, well, it pays homage to the actual flying tigers of World War II. Those airmen were the first American volunteer group of the Chinese Air Force in 1941, led by General Claire Chennault of Monroe.
We are branded after the historic Flying Tigers of World War II. There's a lot of ties to not only the community but the state of Louisiana with the historic, like the shark mouth plane, right? So most importantly, the General Claire Chennault, who led the Flying Tigers of World War II, was a Monroe native. His granddaughter, Nell Calloway, has the Chennault Aviation Museum out by the Monroe Airport and is the curator. That is easily the most historic tie to the area. But if you look at the ULM Warhawks, they rebranded, it had to be, 15 years or more ago. But they have the shark mouth on their helmets. They are the Warhawks. The plane was a P-40 Warhawk. General Chennault was a graduate of LSU, so that ties him to South Louisiana. So there's a lot of ties statewide.
The shark-nosed plane tip is an eye-catching piece of the decor, but it wasn't a part of the original design. One of the co-owners just happened to see it rolling out of Randy Frank's auto repair shop in Rayville one day.
David almost drove off the road. We were like 3 months from opening. We hadn't even opened, and that was not anywhere, it wasn't part of our design for this room. He went back, struck up a conversation with him. He ended up buying it. He literally pushed that out of that bay probably for 20 minutes. Otherwise, we would never know that thing existed.
While wall art creates the ambiance inside this establishment, there's also an artistic vibe to the packaging of the beer. From the beer names to the inspired artwork on each can, Jason Byron Nelson has been the can art creator since day one. While the decor and the beer are enough to get you through the door, there's also a blazing hot brick oven where gourmet pizzas are made. Not your ordinary pizza pie by any means. There's the General Claire with prosciutto, lemon fig jam, goat cheese, and arugula. And then my favorite, the Sherman, the duck tenderloin, cream cheese, and Lafitte's candied jalapenos. Then, of course, you pair any of those with the house-made beer. Now, TW and I aren't beer drinkers, and we certainly don't drink and ride. But we don't want to hurt James's feelings, so we're obliged to a taste test of a flight, and yes, we'll Uber home.
But stronger because it's dark? See, I don't know my beer.
But it kind of tastes like it might have coffee in it.
Oh, he did mention that. He said coffee notes. Okay.
I can taste. Oh, I like that.
Okay.
I didn't think I would, but it's really good. I think because of the coffee. You get it?
Flying Tiger is a trifecta destination, as James likes to call it, because they also feature live music several nights a week, from local acts to this group from Nashville called Heavy Drunk and Watermelon Slim. And crazy enough, John Eloise, one of the band members, we met while at Harmonica Camp in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Just goes to show, you never know who you might run into as you travel life's highways and byways, especially since good pizza, good beer, and great music seem to be a universal language.
What a great time we had at the Flying Tiger Brewery. If you haven't been, you've got to check it out. Well, that's it for this week. I'm T.W. Robinson. We'll see you right here next week, same time, same station, with another great edition of LA Rider. Remember, we haven't been everywhere, but it's on our list. See you next week.
LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
God bless chrome cowgirls like us.